I'm only speaking to benevolent beings. So this is more of just a, I guess, for lack of a better term, PSA. Today was a rough day, and I mean, not that it's been rough for a very long time, but in the last 2 or 3 days, in coming across several beings benevolent beings starting to come together. The attacks forced in my direction have gotten worse. So my issue is there some channels that I have been subscribed to. Sometimes what happens with these entities in the forced V2K, in the remote neural monitoring, and all the attacks and everything that they're trying to force, what they will try to do is use others, and benevolent beings may have also experienced this. I don't think that this is unique to me personally, but they will use others to try and attack, and oftentimes those others are not part of it, and they have no knowledge of it, and they don't know anything about it. However, sometimes they do a lot of mind fuck. They try to invert everything. So I might listen to someone's podcast or video, and as I'm listening, they will try to take everything that person says and immediately invert it, and then try to exploit, meaning they will try to induce fear with concepts, ideas. So at the beginning of a video, I could start out relatively centered and calm, and then by the end of the video, even though that person gave some relayed some really good information, really relevant information, by the end of it, the entities have tried to invert everything that person has said and tried to induce fear, and tried to exploit. And sometimes, some days I do better with it than others. But some days, are pretty rough. And especially since benevolent beings, it seems like we're really starting to come together and starting to really talk about relevant information, very important information, important topics, and topics and information that threaten the very system that we're trying to escape from and trying to bring down. So the attacks, they're already in massive fear. So when they try to come at me, they are so much in massive fear and so frenzied that sometimes it's a real challenge to stay centered and in a place, especially when they're trying to rape things from me and emotionally, forcibly induce emotional frequencies that aren't mine. Because they are interfering with my emotional body, not just my mental body. They are forcibly attached to some of my frequencies that obviously they should not be attached to. They're kind of like trying to sit on my frequencies. Like I really strive to be in my own healed benevolent frequencies at all times, and because the remote neural monitoring, they forcibly attach, they piggyback onto one's personal neurological signal and energetic signature. And then when they hack the emotional body, the intuitive body, along with the mental body, and they're trying to, like, I'm able to block out the V2K. What they did was then do what they could to interfere with my emotional body. And so things that I would be receiving via intuition, they try to force the V2K in that way. So at times it's a struggle to discern between my own intuition and what they're trying to force, as they would like V2K, via my intuitive center, my intuitive body. And they're also trying to force false emotional frequencies. And others may have experienced this, I don't know. But they're always trying to force fear. And then, in addition to that, they're trying to always try to force their narrative. And trying to alter what I know to be the truth of things. Because these entities try and use us to manifest. Because we're creator beings. And we're able to manifest. They're always trying to hijack that. The attacks have been extremely severe for me in the last 3 months, and it has been a real struggle. And the point in this recording is, today I had to, because they try to force magic via others that probably have no idea that either they are being used or that they're being connected to their channels, are being used to cord to like my energy in my frequencies, in order to stop those attacks. I've had to unsub from several people. And what I wanted to say about it is, I hope if they notice it, I'm hoping that they can understand that it's not something that I think they did personally or directly. I think because we benevolent beings are starting to come together, that they are trying to, what they are trying to attack and how the ways that they are trying to attack are just ridiculous. And they're like throwing the kitchen sink at it. And they're just trying to use whatever they have access to try and attack and to try and separate. So until I can better reach a centered, stable place with what they are forcing and the attacks they are trying to throw my direction, I did temporarily unsub. I just wanted those individuals to know that it has really, it's not personal. And I didn't want them to think that I had changed my mind, or that I'm, that I was upset or at them personally or what have you. It's just sometimes because they use the tech to cord and to try and connect to benevolent beings' energies and frequencies, that sometimes I have to do that in order to stop the attacks. So at some point in the near future, as soon as I can get to a more stable place with it, in a more centered place with it, and fend off their attacks more easily, I did unsub. I don't, expect that to last long, but if those individuals hadn't noticed, I just wanted to mention it and give my reasons for doing so. And I hope that they can understand, and hopefully they don't view that in a negative way. But, in order to better protect and defend ourselves, sometimes we have to do certain things, and the way that they attack me is usually through others and through the tech. Whether those individuals know it or not. And I just wanted to make note of that, and hopefully I did not offend anyone if they did notice. So, I'm just needing to take some time and get to a more stable, centered place where I can more easily fend off their attacks and force out their bullshit. And it's just really sad because even they have technology like video technology that's real time. Like, you could be watching a video of someone and they can easily switch it over to where it looks like the same person and sounds like the same person, but they're using some kind of video technology, CGI shit, that where it's somebody else talking, but it still looks like the person you're listening to and sounds like the person that you're listening to. And they're then trying to trying to send out magic, trying to send out certain frequencies. They're trying to alter perceptions of that individual. And I mean, the level of fuckery is just ridiculous. It is. I have done so much of my own healing work. And I know this by the abilities that I've come into, the information that I've come into, the things that I'm able to do. I know the healing work that I've done. I am at a place where there should not be parasites forcibly attached to me in any way, shape, or form. And because they're forcibly obstructing universal law manifested correction here, and they still continue to try and force against revocation of consent, I'm still being forced to deal with issues that I shouldn't have to still deal with. There comes a point in one's spiritual growth where those things organically should fall away. Shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't have to be in constant battle against parasitic entities that shouldn't be attached to me to begin with. Like the whole point of doing one's inner work and spiritual work is to get to a higher frequency and vibration and to get beyond their reach. And they're totally using technology to try and continue to force things that they shouldn't be forcing, because universal law correction should have already dealt with those entities. Like, there are some of us who have been doing things the right way, in a balanced, healthy way, in the correct way, and still there are things being forced that should not be being forced. So what is one to do? Right? Obviously, we continue to battle. We continue to take back what they try to rape from us. We continue to stand in our power and authority, and they continue to throw the kitchen sink at it. Like, I am just so fucking fed up with this place. They shouldn't still be here. They shouldn't be doing what they're doing. All of this should have been corrected a long time ago already. At this point, this shit is so ridiculous and so out of fucking control. And I'm sorry for the language, but sometimes expletives are the only way to describe or articulate the emotion. And I'm sorry if that offends you. I guess you don't have to stay, but I'm just saying. Again, I've said it before, we need to get the fuck out of here. And this is not a place for benevolent beings. So I hope that you can understand what I've expressed, and allow some amount of grace as I try and work through what is being forced. Do your best to stay strong. Stand in your power and authority always. Refuse consent in what is being forced. Continue to pull back anything that you think has been raped from you. And continue to force them out. They are parasitic entities operating through tech. That should not be. They should have already been removed from a manifested existence already. Know yourselves well. And know that you are powerful beings. Till next time.